What's up, EC? It's Steve again, Harmless Rebel, and it's time for another hard rock and heavy metal update. So let's just kind of jump into it. First off, in the background, we're listening to the Money Mask from Armageddon. This is the 2007 Retroactive Records reissue of this 1990 classic. This is just really good heavy metal a la Sabotage, a little bit of Metal Church. Really good though. This is one I recommend picking up. You can get the 2007 repress for relatively cheap. The original 1990 copy of this is mid-20s, low 30s. The repress is really cool though because it comes with a second disc which has it's full of rough mixes and demos. Just some really cool stuff on there. So again, that's the Money Mask from Armageddon. And actually, I believe they just put out a new CD as well. So keep an eye out for that. So let's just kind of jump into the vinyl. This first one, I talked about quite extensively earlier this year. I did a review of the band. Actually, I'll put a link down below so you can check out the review. But this is the Blessed Curse from Manila Road. I finally got off my butt and picked up a copy on vinyl. This is one of my favorite albums of the year so far. Amazing from beginning to end. There's one song that I could kind of live without, but the song is good itself. I'm just not a fan of the story behind the song. And like I said, watch my review and you can find out what the deal is with that. And the cool thing about that review is Mark Sheldon, the driving force behind Manila Road, actually wrote a really good comment to my video, which I thought was very cool. Killer album, though. Highly recommend grabbing this one. Again, this is one of my top albums of the year. I love this album. Next up, this I was amazed to run across where I did. So I looked up Kiss on Amazon. The prices have slowly been coming down on their reissues. So once they've all hit around the $20 mark, I've been buying them as I can. You know, if you saw when they first came out, they were all $30 to $49.99 really for all the Kiss reissues. And like I said, they've slowly been coming down. The one I've been waiting for to come down is Creatures of the Night. That one's still sitting at about $30. Once that gets down a little bit lower, I'm going to go ahead and order a copy of it. But as I was looking through there, I saw this. This is one of the Kiss albums I was missing from my collection. And the reason I was missing it is because it always goes for $100 plus, no matter what the condition. Now, this was not in the best condition, and I'll show you in a minute. The vinyl itself is mint, but the jacket has some issues. But I found it for $35 on Amazon used, and I couldn't push the button fast enough because even in this condition, it goes for well over $100. And that's a Live 4 from Kiss. Now the problems that it has is, I don't know if you can see right there, there's kind of a crease in the jacket, and then on the top there, you've got some seam splits. But you're still talking, I mean, this thing goes for $100 plus in this condition. And I got it for $35 on Amazon of all places. I mean, I was completely blown away. A lot of people have said quite a bit about this album. I know John, SMS Captain Howdy, can't stand this album. I thought it was okay. It's definitely the worst of all of the Alives. I don't even really think it should be part of the Alive series. I think it should just be Kiss Symphony. And not the whole album is not the symphony. I think that what's most damaging to this is the fact that Peter Criss plays on it. They can live without him. I would much rather have heard Eric on drums than Peter Criss, to be perfectly honest. And of course, you know, it's just Paul Stanley's vocals, especially on the slower songs. His voice just doesn't sound good anymore. You know, it is what it is. It's been like that for almost 20 years now, 15 years. His voice has just sounded rough. But man, on songs like Beth and stuff, it really kind of hurts your ears. But on the classic songs, I mean, it's still pretty cool. The symphonic part of it, the symphony, it's pretty weak when you compare it to, say, Metallica, S&M, you know, where they had the Philharmonic with them. They did a much better job of working with the symphony than Kiss did. But still, it was something I had to have in the collection. There are still some really good songs on here. Kiss Symphony. Or, excuse me, Alive 4. Next up, this is just an absolute classic album from beginning to end. I love this whole album. A member of the VC had this. They were selling for really cheap. I think I paid like $6. And that's Welcome to My Nightmare from Alice Cooper. Somebody wrote $9.99 on it. But it's a DJ copy. I mean, you got Welcome to My Nightmare, Department of Youth, Escape. I mean, beginning to end, this album just rocks. One that you really need in your collection. Next up, we've got, I believe it's the sophomore album from the Jersey band TT Quick. This is actually my first TT Quick album. Really killer album though, killer metal from beginning to end. I really dug this one. I really want to find their, try to find their other albums. Next up, I've shown a couple of their albums in my last few videos. I just keep running across them. I ran across another upgrade copy of Sticks on Wooden Nickel. Again, as I mentioned before, Sticks on Wooden Nickel is not the Styx that you know from the late 70s and early 80s. This is pre-AOR. This is when they're still a really good, just hard rock band. Now, this one, you do start to feel, or you start to feel a bit of that AOR direction that they're going to move towards with their next album when they sign with, I think it's A&M. But this still has that hard rock feel. This is probably my least favorite of the Wooden Nickel albums, but that's not saying much because it's still a kick-ass album and still one that you should have in your collection if you dig 70s hard rock. Just, you know, and make sure you get the Wooden Nickel ones. I don't like the way they remastered or they adjusted the levels on the A&M reissues of this, and I don't like the way it sounds. The Wooden Nickel sounds quite a bit better to me. So, Man of Miracles. Next, this one is just an absolute classic. One of my local record stores had this, and I was amazed. I couldn't grab it fast enough. This is Battle Hymns from Manowar. I love this album. Deftone this isn't just my favorite Manowar album. Deftone is by far my favorite Manowar song. Are they cheesy? Yes. Are they over the top? Yes. Do they kick ass? Yes. Like I said, I just love this album. Definitely my favorite of Manowar. It doesn't get much better than this with these guys. I avoided Manowar for a long time. Manowar is huge in Japan. And when I lived there, every time I went to a metal store or the metal section of a music store, Manowar everywhere. They always had so much stuff. In hindsight, I wish I'd have grabbed it, but I always avoided them because of their cheesy outfits and just their over the top. I mean, they're a living metal stereotype. And then probably 98 or 99. A buddy of mine was playing this album in his car, and I was like, what the hell is that? That's amazing. And he told me what it was, and after that I went and bought as many Manowar CDs as I could. But again, Battle Hymns, just an absolute classic. This is another band I'm relatively new to. I don't remember if Greeno showed them first or if Scott did, but I was familiar with the, this is the side project for, I can't even think of his name right now. and it's not going to say it. This is a side project for the vocalist from Deceased, which is a band that I was very familiar with. This is his thrash side project. It's October 31st. This is a High Roller, Hell's Headbangers repress of the album. I recommend going to Hell's Headbangers while you can. They have a killer deal going right now. They have this 3 album for, I think it's $16.66. So you pick 3 albums, you pay $16.66. I think it's like $20 with shipping. But each of these albums are $17, $18, and I bought 3 of the October 31st albums. And this is the only one I've listened to so far, but man, this album rips. I loved it. And it comes on this cool tricolor vinyl, which is also very cool. Also, while you're on Hell's Headbangers ordering these albums, check out the Deceased box set that they just put together. It's one of the coolest box sets I've ever seen. I'm not going to buy it because it's a little bit pricey, but it's a Coffin box set, which is nothing new. We've seen that before with the Misfits, with a couple of other bands. But this one is a 3-foot handmade wooden coffin that holds all of their albums inside of it. And it's got albums, CDs, a bunch of other stuff with it too. Really cool box set though, worth just checking out. But if you're into thrash, you should definitely check out October 31st. Or October 31. Next is just another classic album, whether you're into hard rock, early heavy metal, proto metal, whatever you want to call it. I picked up a really clean copy of Aqualung. I've actually never owned Aqualung on vinyl. I've had the CD a number of times over the years. I know my dad has a copy of it on vinyl, but I found this nice first U.S. pressing. Like I said, the vinyl's really clean, and it was like $6. Aqualung and Locomotive Breath, just 2 amazing songs, and for what was it, 1971, just heavy as hell. Really good album. If you've never given this a chance, grab a copy and check it out, especially those 2 songs. These next 2 I just got yesterday. I've only listened to the first one, but they're both albums I'm very much familiar with. These were just recently reissued. I believe they came out on November 1st, so just a couple days ago. I had pre-ordered them, and these are, you know, just power metal classics. First we have Keeper of the Seven Keys from Helloween. And I don't remember the originals being gatefolds. I may be wrong, but there's a gatefold there. And I mean, this is just an absolute classic. When I think of power metal, these are the first 2 albums that come to mind. And then Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 2. I haven't opened this one yet. I'll be giving this one a spin later today, though. Just Helloween at their best. This is when Kai Hansen was still in the band. I think he left after this. I may be wrong, but I think he left after this album. Next up, just another classic album that I didn't have on vinyl. If You Want Blood from AC/DC. If you're only familiar with newer AC/DC, and I say newer, Back in Black forward, Brian Johnson era, give this early AC/DC a spin. I've always preferred the Bon Scott AC/DC. These live sets, though, from that era, are amazing. They're just so much bluesier than they were from Back in Black on. Not to say that they lost that bluesy sound, but man, they were just. I don't remember who said it recently. Somebody was saying, Brian Johnson era, it's real popular to hear people say a new album, it just sounds like AC/DC. They all sound the same. And that wasn't true with these early albums. Definitely recommend checking this one out. And then last but not least, this is one. I had never heard this band before. I knew who they were. I knew I was familiar, or I knew what style they were. I had just never run across one of their albums. And I ran across this one for under $15, so I couldn't pass up on it. This is Back from the Abyss from Orange Goblin. Just killer doom stoner metal. I really dug this. I'll be on the lookout for more of their stuff in the future. And this one's kind of cool. It's this is the first album, and then there's disc 2 there. I really dug this though. I've already given this a couple spins. I'll give it a few more before it goes into the main collection there. That's it, VC though. Any comments, any thoughts? Tell me what you think. Other than that, take care and enjoy the rest of your week.